To go or not to go? That is the question. And in today's video, we are going to break down the fundamentals of when you should and should not be going for a ball in Rocket League. When determining whether you should or should not go for a ball, there are two questions you need to ask yourself. Number one, where are the other players on the field? And number two, what is the direction and speed the ball is traveling at? Using these two questions, you can determine whether you should or should not be going for that ball. Let's take a look at a couple examples. So let's go ahead and play this forward and see where things may go right or wrong. So ball pinches across, you can see we're just kind of patiently waiting in the midfield, see what happens, that's very good. Ball pinches across again, okay, now in this instance, we're watching our teammate right here to see what they're going to do. If they turn towards the corner or towards the back wall and look like they might be attempting to play this, then we're just going to stay patient in the midfield. But if we see that they are making their way out this way, then that gives us the go-ahead to swoop in to make a play here. But as we can see, our teammate continues on his way out, so okay, we're going to go ahead and push on in here. Rick here doesn't get the best touch, and we're going to go ahead and put in a challenge, and now this pops the ball up. So now, here's where we're going to see our big moment that we want to talk about here. So the questions we need to ask, number one, where are the other players? Well, we know our one teammate and one opponent are currently behind us in this direction. Our teammate just rotated back for boost, and an opponent just got beat from us in a challenge. We have another opponent here, and another opponent we can assume is just off screen this way, probably rotating back into the net as such. Our teammates should be off screen in the midfield here. And if we actually went ahead and did a quick check, why yes, there indeed is our teammate sitting in the midfield, waiting to see what kind of ball pops out to see if he would be able to attack it. And as we can see from the positioning of the orange team's defense, they are not really in a great spot to defend a ball off the backboard. So in a situation like this is a perfect opportunity to slap the ball off the backboard, maybe rotate down through the opponents just to cause a bit more chaos, down through Frank, down through the other player rotating back, and kind of leave this open space for our teammate to come in for the shot. Unfortunately, we don't think through this and think that we can still make a play on this ball, so we decide to send ourselves up in the air for it, and we go ahead and, like we said, get a touch off to the side. And if we look at where our teammate is, why yes, indeed, he was flying in an attempt to put this easy shot in off the backboard for the OT winner. It's just important to think about where your teammates are and who has the best opportunity to go for the ball. As we said, direction of the ball and location of the players will determine whether you should or should not go for the ball. In this case, the opponents were frozen kind of on the goal line, just on the ground. The ball was bouncing it back into the midfield, and in that instance, we should trust that the player sitting in the midfield is going to be able to finish this off. We should not be trying to do too much, as it just makes the entire team very awkward. Let's move into another example here where we don't quite use the information available to us on the field to make the best decision. So again, we're pushing forward on offense, all three members of the opponent's team kind of once again around the net area, and our two teammates sitting ahead of us. We roll through here and we're going to see Rick get this touch forward, and now here's the important thing to look at. So number one, Leopard out of the play. He's floating in the air, so we don't need to worry about what he is doing. He is landing and going in this direction. The three players from the orange team, if you'll notice though, are all facing forwards. So this tells me that they are going to be eager to attack this ball pretty much as soon as possible. It's also important that we look over here at our teammate Tide and see that he is currently angling his car sideways. Now, if we consider what can and cannot be seen through ball cam, from our perspective, we can see Tide, but Tide cannot see us if his ball cam is on because it's looking this way. So what we have to recognize is, hey, we are the person that can see the total outcome of this play. This ball is not moving very quickly towards us. It's kind of just floating slowly in our direction, which means these guys are still going to have the first run of play with this ball. So maybe we should be a little bit patient in this scenario, especially considering the fact that Tide could also choose to turn and go for this, and therefore if we also go, not only do we risk getting beats, by the orange players jumping up for this, but we also risk causing a double commit and giving them a free counter attack. So the correct decision here would just be to turn back, let the play develop, and maybe jump in when the ball is a little more advantageous to go for. But in our situation here, we choose to jump up, and tide does indeed come with us, and just like that, we've double committed, allowed the ball downfield, and now we are in a very rough position defensively, all because we were not patient enough as the last man back and chose to dive in on a ball that we really shouldn't have. So now let's look at some good examples of patience here. So once again, looking at the situation, we can see our teammate Tide is on his way out. Leopard here is challenging the corner. We got two orange players here as this ball is rolling along, and we are positioning in the midfield to kind of get ready for what might be coming out of this. So let's go ahead and take a quick peek. So Rick plays it back towards Frank. Frank gets the 50-50 out, and this ball pinches out to the side. Now, like we said, we saw our teammate go back this way. We can see Leopard's out of the play. No one from the orange team is able to challenge this ball. So this one's totally free for us. We can go ahead and play this one however we might like to. Rotate around. Not the greatest touch, all things considered. It kind of just lofts out into the midfield, and no one's really there to make fantastic use of it. But we did take the free ball, so that's fine. Now, we're going to drive down this wall here and, again, be paying attention to the position of everybody. So, Lepin looks like he's going to be going for this ball, probably pushing it back either into the midfield or towards the corner. So, we'll kind of want to linger in the midfield area and just kind of wait to see what develops. We see Frank does try to get the challenge here, but Lepin does manage to play it around him and follow it into the corner. Now, here's the real moment where patience is huge. So, we see that Rick has taken this boost from Lepin, so Lepin might be in a difficult spot to be able to continue to play this, but we also see that the player who would be responsible in playing this ball from the orange team hasn't really started moving as of yet. What we're going to do is we're going to just kind of chill in this midfield area and just wait to see what develops. If a 50-50 between Lepin and Frogman happens and the ball pinches out this way, either we can wheel around on it, or we can allow our teammate Tide, who we know is still behind us, to come back into the play. Vice versa, if Lepin wins this challenge and the ball pinches into the midfield, then we can be here for a shot. We're going to be making sure we pick up boost along the way, so we have the resources to get there. But as you can see, the ball kind of floats. Lepin looks like he's going to be the first one to this. We're positioning nicely just to see what happens. Hey, look, the ball comes right to us, and we can slot it on home. So that's the big thing there, is just identifying, hey, the ball is kind of sitting, hovering in the corner. It looks like my teammate is going to have the next touch on the ball. Even if he doesn't, it doesn't really matter if I'm sitting in the midfield and my teammate's missed. We're still in a fine position to deal with it. So I'm just going to sit in midfield, wait to see what happens. The ball comes right to us, and we get the goal for having the patience in that situation. Now, we got one last example of solid patience coming up here, as we see our teammate Tide get demoed and Lepid take the ball downfield against two retreating players from the orange team. So once again, Lepid controlling the ball. We're going to be kind of marking what he's doing and just positioning ourselves accordingly to be able to support him. Rick rotating back towards net. Frogman looks like he's picking up this boost and then rotating back. And then there was one orange player back this way who's going to be coming back. And our other teammate Tide has just gotten demoed, so he'll be coming off one of the spawns at some point in the next few seconds. So as we go ahead and play this forward, we'll see that the orange team is still in full retreat, so we are pretty much just focused on, hey, where is this ball going to land off of Lepid's challenge? So Lepid goes ahead and gets a flip reset. Now, if this is a shot directly on target, things are looking pretty good, because Rick is in a really awkward spot just right under the ball, so if Lepid shoots this, Rick is in a really tough spot to make a save, and he does not have any support back with him as of yet. The thing we need to pay attention to is if this ball is not on target, and if it ends up going towards the backboard, we want to make sure that we are playing in a patient position that we can pounce on this ball when it does bounce out. What that means is not getting too close to the play. You see, the closer we get to this play, the harder it will be for us to react to whatever bounce comes out. We want to make sure that we're getting close enough that we can jump on it really quickly, but we're staying far enough back that we give ourselves the chance to cover as many options as possible. So as we see here, Leopard goes ahead and gets the flip, pops it out, Rick jumps, and at this point Frogman is just about back, but look at the gap that we've created between ourselves and the goal. Frogman is still facing the backboard, rotating back, so he's going to have a bit of a tough time turning out for this if the ball does come out towards us. The other player from Orange is not back as of yet, and Rick is out of the play as he's jumped. So any ball that comes off this backboard and bounces back towards us is very advantageous for us to go for. And as we see, this ball is going to bounce off. Frogman still flat-footed on the ground, just kind of turning to see if he can maybe jump up for this. Meanwhile, we already have the perfect angle to be in the air, and we jump up nice and quick and can tap this in over the top of him. Even if we were last man back in that situation, that would still have been our ball to go for, assuming we got the same answers to our initial questions. So that should give you guys a decent rundown on what the thought process looks like of deciding to go or not to go for a ball. Obviously, this thought process occurs very rapidly, but it is very important to be able to answer those questions, as if you get it wrong, it is very easy to get caught out and give up free nets, or to miss opportunities to score that you really should have taken advantage of. Of course, if you guys want to see more content like this, make sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe button right down below this video, so you make sure you don't miss any future coaching content. Additionally, if you want to be more involved in this community, make sure you go ahead and join my Discord, link down in the description below. So thank you everybody so much for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you next time. See you later, guys. And if you're looking for some more Rocket League entertainment, might I recommend checking out this playlist right here for some more Key to Rocket League videos just like this. Or check out this video over here to see the intensity of Rocket League speedrunning.